SEO has evolved rapidly, and those who want to learn SEO from scratch feel lost because it's hard to catch up to these changes. So this video is made specially for beginners to learn traditional SEO and build the foundation quickly so that you can play catch up to all the GEO, AEO, AI SEO or whatever. One disclaimer before we start, we will be using an SEO plugin called Rank Math a lot when we show you how to implement things, but the concepts and knowledge can be applied to any other SEO plugin, so bear with us. There is a lot to cover with very little time, so let's get straight into it. Let's go. Now, there are several key areas we need to cover to master SEO. We need to understand keywords and intent, site structure, on-page SEO, technical SEO, and off-page SEO. Let's first discuss why we do SEO as a website owner. When there is a need for something such as a housewife looking for dinner ideas or a student seeking for information on a project, they will go to search engines like Google. Nowadays, they often turn to ChatGPT, but that is another topic to discuss. We are only focusing on traditional SEO in this video. People will often type in a keyword in a search engine to fulfill their need, whatever that is. And the search engine will try to understand why the person is searching for the keyword, which in SEO terms is the search intent. And the search engine will find web pages that will help the user fulfill that need. There are basically four types of search intents. First is the navigational intent. Most of the time, when you know what websites or pages you want to visit, for example, you want to go to RankMath's website. Normally, you wouldn't type rankmath.com in the browser. You would just type RankMath and rely on a search engine to show you its main website, and you would click to visit the page. This type of search intent is called navigational intent. Another example would be you want to know what is the privacy policy of RankMath. So you will search RankMath privacy policy, and the search engine will show you the page that you are looking for. Navigational search intent means you already know what website or web page you want to visit, and you just want the search engine to find it for you. The second type of intent is informational intent, which means you are only looking for information. For example, is doing squats bad for knees? Is wall squat better than squats? How to eat healthy, etc. You just want information and have no other intentions. The third type is the commercial intent, which means you have the intention of buying something but you are not ready yet. So you are doing research, such as RankMath review, Social Pilot review, WP Rocket versus Breeze. You have the intention to buy something but you just want to get more information. Now, some keywords sit between informational and commercial intents where the person might have the intent to buy something, but they are far from making that decision. It is more about product discovery. They are keywords like best WordPress SEO plugins, best apps for home exercise, best laptops for graphic design students. So as a business or website owner, our goal is to target keywords with these search intents because they are likely to bring sales. Now, the final type of search intent is the transactional intent, where the person has already decided to buy the product or service, but they are searching for the best way to buy the product, such as RankMath discount code, RankMath Black Friday deal, buy RankMath Pro, etc. So no matter if they found a discount or not, they have already decided to buy the product or service. Using keywords, we can identify or infer the search intent of the searcher, and as content creators, we need to write content that addresses this intent. We will need to optimize the content with relevant keywords so that search engines like Google can understand what our content is about and display our page to users. Now, what you have to understand is that search engines do not show you live results, meaning when you type in a keyword, they do not crawl the web for related pages, analyze them, rank them, and display the results all at the same time. Instead, search engines have already crawled, analyzed, and indexed billions of web pages in a large database. And when you search for something, they then pull the relevant web pages and rank them according to their algorithm. So understanding this, we need to look into how search engines understand your content and what your website is about. And that's why we need to talk about site structure. A single piece of content doesn't tell the whole story. Search engines look at your website as a whole, analyzing how different pieces of content relate to each other to understand your site's overall theme. This helps them determine what your website is truly about and how to rank it appropriately. For example, if your entire site focuses on dog food, but suddenly you publish an article about SEO, that post will likely struggle to rank well because it is completely unrelated to the site's main topic. So with that understanding, our first step is to get clear on the products, services, or solutions you offer and the audience you are targeting. This allows us to create content that focuses on problem and solution keywords your audience is actively searching for. This boils down to planning your site structure. Let's say that you are an interior design company. You first need to think about what groups of audience you are targeting based on the products or services you offer. The first group of people is probably planning for a home renovation. The second group is looking for renovation tips and ideas. And the third group is looking for sustainable and smart home renovation solutions. These are going to be the main blog categories for your website. You can name it the way your audience will relate. And with this in mind, we will find keywords that will help each group of people. For example, for renovation planning, we have these keywords. For renovation guides, we have these keywords. And for smart renovation, we have these keywords. In each of the categories, you want to have one or more pages that other pages can logically place internal links to. And this page can logically link to other pages as well. For example, in the renovation guides category, the home renovation tips page is a high-level page that briefly talks about all renovation tips in different rooms of the house. And it can logically link to all other pages that allow visitors to deep dive into more specific guides. And this page can be the anchor for other pages to link to for an overview. In SEO terms, this is called a pillar page. And together, this is called a content cluster. In each of your categories, there are multiple content clusters and pillar pages, and the way we define pillar pages differ across different SEO plugins. For Rank Math, assuming that this is a pillar page you are creating, all you have to do to define this as your pillar page is to click on Rank Maths tab, and right below the focus keyword field, you can check this box to define this page as a pillar page. We will talk about the rest of the SEO optimizations in a while. So each content you create will help search engines understand more about the main categories of your site. And your goal is to cover every topic under the sun that relates to these main categories. This is what we call topical relevance. And together, it helps search engines understand what your website is about, who your target audiences are. This entire site structure is what we call a silo structure. So when someone searches for something that relates to renovation, search engines know that your website has a strong relevance to the topic, and there is a higher chance that your content will be part of the search results. That's the key idea for a site structure, and this should be enough for you to master it. But if you want to have a deeper dive into this topic, you can watch this video right here. Anyway, as we talk about covering every topic related to your main category, we need to talk about keyword research. The thing is, you do not want to create content that no one is searching for. It would just be a waste of time and energy. So while we mention creating every topic under the sun, we mean topics that people actually care about and are actively searching for. If you have the money to spend on a keyword research tool, you can pay for either Ahrefs, SEMrush, or Mongoose. But if you do not have the budget, then feel free to use Google Keyword Planner. Now, many people feel like they have to pay for Google Keyword Planner because they are asking for your credit card information when setting up the Google Ads account. But the key is, even if you provide your information, you don't have to pay anything as long as you do not run any ads, and you can continue to use the tools. Now that it is clarified, we can use the Google Keyword Planner by going to Tools, under Planning, and here's the Keyword Planner. And with this, you can find highly relevant keywords with search volume. Simply click on Discover New Keywords. Let's say that you want to find home renovation keywords. You would add that here. This is what we call the seed keyword. You can add more seed keywords if you want to. And then if your target audience is in a specific location, you can search for it and add it in. But if your audience is worldwide, you would remove all locations and click Save, and the All Location option is selected. If you have a competitor website, you can add that here so that the tool will filter only relevant keywords. Otherwise, you would hit Get Results, and it will provide you with a long list of keywords related to your seed keyword that comes with the search volume data. This search volume tells you that there is an average number of people searching for this keyword every single month. So many people are interested in this keyword. Do not worry much about this competition because it is more for paid advertisements than organic search competition. So the important point is to first identify keywords with search volume, and then we will sort them based on the competition level. If your site is new and does not have much content yet, you wouldn't focus on keywords with high competition level. You will look for keywords with more than 100 search volume and a low competition level. But how do you determine the competition level? If you have paid tools, it is much easier and convenient. But if you are on a budget, don't worry. Install this Chrome extension called Uber Suggest. Then whenever you search for something on Google, you will see all these data about each search result. What we are focusing on to determine the competition level is the domain authority. Now, to know the competition level of this keyword, focus on the first page search results. If all the pages have a domain authority of 50 and above, which in this case it is considered high competition. If the first page search results consist of pages with a domain authority of between 30 to 40, this is considered medium competition. And if there are pages with domain authority of 30 and below, for example this case, there are multiple pages with domain authority of 30 and below, then this keyword is considered low competition. And this is a keyword that newer sites need to work on. This is the foundation of keyword research. Ultimately, you want to create content covering every topic with search volume that relates to your main categories, regardless of the competition level. The competition level is just the starting point. Again, this should allow you to master keyword research, but if you want a deeper dive into this topic, I highly recommend that you check out this video. Now, on top of keyword research and site structure, there are some important things you need to understand and decide before working on any SEO projects. And one of them is the URL structure. Now, a good SEO practice for a URL is to have a descriptive text on it. And if you run a WordPress website, you can control the URL structure by going to its settings and permalinks. From here, you can decide which URL structure is best suited for your website. We recommend using the post name option because it will automatically add the page title to the URL. Otherwise, if you want to have the category name in the URL, you would use the custom structure where you will first add the category tag followed by the post name tag and save changes. And whenever you create an article, let's say that the page title is Home Renovation Tips 2025. On the page settings, over at the URL slug, you can see that the page title is added to the URL. And if we select the category and save changes, we can see that the URL will look like this, where it starts with the category, then the page title. Now, we do not recommend adding any dates, especially the year to the URL, because what if it's 2026 or 2027 and beyond? Constantly changing the URL of a page is not a good SEO practice. The URL needs to be the same even though the content changes, because if you change the URL, all the backlinks and SEO juice the page has gained will be lost if no proper redirection is made. That's why even if you have a year in the title, you want to remove it from the URL. The same goes if you have a number here. You do not want to have a number in the URL, because what if you want to add the number 51 renovation tips or number 52? In that case, it doesn't make sense to always change the URL, so you want to remove them. Now, changing the URL before it is published is completely fine. Or even if you have published the article and you decided to change the URL immediately, that is completely fine as well. However, do not wait for more than a day to change the URL, because you never know when the search engine will crawl your page. Now, these are the most fundamental things you need to know before you start any SEO projects. The next thing you need to know to master SEO is on-page SEO. Now, on-page SEO is all about optimizing your page with relevant keywords and links so that search engines will understand what your page is about. It is all about strategically adding keywords to the right places. Let me walk you through an example. Assuming you are working on an article targeting the keyword Best Site Business Ideas for Students, the first place to add the keyword is in the SEO title. I don't know about other SEO plugins, but for Rank Math, you just need to click on this tab and click Edit Snippet. And here's where you add the SEO title and description. By default, Rank Math will have this title variable, which takes information from your page title. So if your page title includes the targeted keyword, you can leave the variable as is. But if not, you will want to customize it to include the keyword. Now, if your SEO title is 60 characters or more, we recommend that you add the focus keyword at the start of it. For example, instead of "we have tried and tested 41 best site business ideas," which leaves the focus keyword at the back, you want to bring it forward. such as 41 best site business ideas for students, try it and test it. Having the focus keyword at the front of the SEO title is a good SEO practice. Other than that, you want a focus keyword to appear in the URL. Earlier, we have talked about changing the URL in the page, but with Rank Math, you can do so here. The next place to add the keyword is in the SEO description. By default, Rank Math will automatically add an SEO description. And if you don't see the keyword here, you can optimize it accordingly. But for this case, the keyword is right here, so we can leave it. Other than these three places to add a keyword, as you can see from our list of SEO optimizations, you should add the focus keyword in the first 10% of your content. On top of that, you should add the focus keyword in one of the subheadings, as well as in the alt text of your images. To add an alt text, all you need to do is to add an image to the page, click on it, and visit the image settings. And here you can add the keyword in the alt text. However, if you are a Rank Math user, we have this setting to automatically add the image file name as the alt text. So optimizing the file name with a keyword will be good enough. Other than that, you should add the focus keyword at the beginning of the SEO title that we have talked about earlier. It will be best that you add a sentiment word as well as a power word in the SEO title. If you don't know what a power and sentiment word is, simply click on this question mark, and on the page, you will see links to positive words, which is a long list of positive words, as well as negative words, as you can see. The same goes for power words. Click on the question mark, and there is a link right here. And in the table of contents, click on English, and this is the list of power words you should add to your SEO title. Sometimes a power word can be a sentiment word and vice versa, and sometimes not. So as a Rank Math user, if you need help with finding the right power and sentiment word, all you need to do is to click Fix with AI, and we will help find the right word to use. It is simple as that. Other than that, you want to add relevant internal links to your page, and take note of the anchor text you use. The text where you add the link is called the anchor text. For example, if you're working on best site business ideas for students, and there is another page you want to link to such as best site hustles in 2025, it will be best if you can find a relevant keyword as the anchor text, such as best site hustles. And then if you are working on another page and have the opportunity to add an internal link to the same page, you will want to find the same keyword or relevant keywords for the anchor text as well, such as all the site hustles. Be mindful of the anchor text you use that links to a particular page, because if you have, for example, image, this text, 2025, recommended, and other irrelevant keywords as the anchor text, you miss the opportunity to give search engines a hint on the strong relevance of the links. So on top of adding relevant internal links, you should be mindful of all the anchor text that you use when linking to other pages. Also, you should add external links to the page whenever possible, but only link to credible sources such as Wikipedia, government sites, or other authoritative niche sites. Now, other things you need to know about on-page SEO are heading hierarchy and feature snippet optimization. Let's use the outline of the page as an explanation. It is much easier. Let's click on this and select outline. Now, your page title is usually the H1 heading tag, and in terms of a physical book, it is the book title. And if you flip the table of contents of a book, you will see all the chapters. And in terms of on-page SEO, H2 heading tags are just like the chapters of the book. And in each chapter of the book, there are subheadings that will separate the content of the chapter. And in terms of SEO, that will be the H3 heading tags. So H2 helps describe H1, H3 helps describe the H2 heading tags they are in, and H4 describe the H3 heading tags they are in. And the hierarchy is the same for H5 and H6. This is the heading hierarchy. Never have a H4 without an H3, and never have a H3 without an H2. I hope it is easy for you to understand. And in terms of featured snippets, they are short and concise sentences and paragraph that answers a question. So for example, if the question is, what is a power word? Right after the question, you will have a short and punchy sentence that immediately answers the question. Like, power words are words with strong meaning that smart copywriters as well as marketers use to trigger a psychological or emotional response, instead of having a long-winded paragraph like this that is hard to understand. So
after every heading, you should try to optimize the next sentence or paragraph with a short and punchy answer. This is how you optimize your content for featured snippets.
One more last thing about on-page SEO is schema markup, because that's the language of the search engines.
You see this, and this, these are called rich results. And it is a result of having proper schema markup on the page. Schema markup is a bit of code that helps search engines understand your website's content better. I'm not sure about other SEO plugins or platforms, but if you are using Rank Math on WordPress, we have made it super easy for you to implement schema markups. By default, all pages and posts are applied with the article schema. However, let's say that you're writing an article about WP Rocket Review and you want to get a star rating reach results for your page. All you need to do is to click on the Rank Maths tab, then on the Schema tab, you will see that the article schema is applied. If you have the free version of Rank Math, you can only apply one schema type to any pages. But if you have Rank Math Pro, you can add as many schema types as logically possible. So to add another schema type to gain the star rating, we will click on the schema generator, and as you can see, there are many different schema templates you can apply. But for this situation, it calls for a software schema, because WP Rocket is a software. You need to fill up all the information to the best of your knowledge. The fields that are marked with the red asterisk are mandatory fields, and those without are optional, but you should still fill them up. And whenever there is a rating schema applied, the same rating should be visible on the page. This is the best practice. So now that we have applied the software schema and I haven't added all these information yet, let's do a test to know if the schema works. Let's save the page, visit it, and to know if the schema is working properly is to visit this tool called Google's Rich Results Testing tool and click on the code option if your page is not indexed yet. Go back to the page where you have applied the schema, right click and view its page source. Then Ctrl or Command A to select all the codes and Ctrl and Command C to copy them. Then go back to the tool, you want to paste the codes here and test it. And in just a few seconds, you will see if your schema markup is working correctly. If there are errors, you want to see what is the issue and you will fix it on your page, such as this. Let's do the test again. And there you go. We have fixed the critical error. And this is the optional field, which doesn't stop you from getting the review rating. Only the critical errors need to be solved.
So these are all the things you need to know to master on-page SEO. And the next thing we need to know is the technical side of SEO. Technical SEO is all about making sure that your pages are crawlable and indexable for the search engines, and the tools to help with are robots.txt, XML sitemap, and meta tags.
So when search engine robots visit your site, the first thing they will look at is your robots.txt file to know if there are any rules against them crawling your site. If there are no rules, they will start crawling your site. They may visit your sitemap.xml to see all the indexable pages, and they will visit each page. And when they visit a page, they will look at the meta tags to determine whether the page should be indexed or excluded from the search results. This tag influences the search engine's decision to index your page or not. Now, if your robots.txt file is preventing a search engine crawler from accessing your site, they will not be able to see the meta tags, and your page may still be indexed if other pages on the web are linking to it.
That's the concept of how search engine crawlers work. If you truly want search engines not to index a particular page, do not prevent it from crawling your site and add a no index meta tag to the page. But how should you do it?
I can't say for other SEO plugins, but for Rank Math, on the page that you want to add the meta tag, you just need to click on the Rank Math tab, visit its advanced settings, and here you can add the no index meta tag and save changes for the page. It is that simple.
And when it comes to robots.txt, this is usually a file that you add to the root folder of your website.
You have to log into your web hosting account and access the file manager of your website. And in the root directory of your website, you would add a file and name it as robots.txt, and you would set the rules for the search engine robots. But if you are a RankMath user, you do not have to create a robots.txt file on the root directory. You can immediately access the file directly from your website. Simply go to RankMath's general settings and click on edit robots.txt. And from here, you can edit the contents of it by selecting the editor mode. By default, RankMath will add something like this to the file, but let me clear this off and start over. Now, if you want to disallow all search engine crawlers from accessing your site, you would start with user-agent : space, and you would add a star, which represents calling all search engine crawlers. Following that, you would go to another line and add disallow : space /, which means you are disallowing all crawlers from accessing all parts of your site. Most reputable search engines such as Google, Bing, Yahoo, Yandex, and others will respect the rule. However, note that some bots may still ignore your robots.txt and access your website anyway. So there is no foolproof solution for this. Now, to prevent a particular robot, such as when you visit this page, you can see that OpenAI has 3 different crawlers. And for some reason, if you want to prevent this crawler from accessing your site, all you need to do is to copy this, go to your robots.txt, add the user-agent : and paste the name of the crawler. Following that, disallow : That's how you prevent a particular agent from entering your site. Now, by default, if your robots.txt file is completely blank or it is non-existent, it means that any crawlers can access your site to crawl it. So you don't have to specifically allow a particular crawler from entering your site. But anyway, if you only want to prevent the crawler from accessing part of your website, for example, all pages with the causes URL path, then all you need to do is to add the causes path here. And any URL with this causes path, you are blocking this crawler from accessing them. Now, if you want to prevent another URL path, you will need to go to a new line and add a disallow : again, followed by the URL path. You cannot just add on to the previous disallow. This is the language of the search engines. And if you need to block another crawler, then all you need to do is to call on to another crawler.
I hope this is really straightforward for you to understand. The next thing you need to know is how to submit your XML sitemap to Google.
If you use RankMath, it is straightforward and there is no technical stuff involved. All you need to do is to visit RankMath's dashboard, click on the setup wizard, follow through the process as you are seeing. Make sure to give RankMath all the access to your Google account. Don't worry, we do not store any of your data on our server. It is just for the smooth process of our features. And when you are done, your site will automatically be connected with your Google Search Console, and the XML sitemap will also be submitted automatically. However, if you do not use RankMath, this is what you would do. Go to Google Search Console and log in with the Google account you want to manage your site. Now, there are 2 options to verify your site, but I'll just show you the easier way. You want to add your site's URL here and click continue. From here, there are a few options, but the most common option is to add a snippet of code on your site for verification. So we will select the HTML tag option, and this is the line of code you need to add. Click copy, go back to your site. Depending on the WordPress theme you are using, you want to go to the theme file editor. This is just a disclaimer, and then you want to look for theme header, which is header.php. And check this out here. We got the start of the head tag, and this is the end of the head tag. Right before the end of the head tag, you want to paste the line of code here and update the file. And once you have done that, go back to Google Search Console and verify it. And there you go. Let's go to the property. Now, to access your XML sitemap and submit it to Google Search Console, as a RankMath user, you will find your XML sitemap in the sitemap settings. And right here, let's copy this link, go to Google Search Console, and in the Sitemaps tab, you can add the sitemap URL here, removing your domain because there is already a prefix here, and hit submit. And we are done. Now, if you're worried about changing the codes of the WordPress theme files, an alternative is to install a plugin called Code Snippets. Right here, let's install it and activate it. And once done, you can click Add New. Give the snippet a name, say Search Console Verification. Select the HTML option and choose the location as inside head section and paste the code here. As you save the snippet, this will help with the verification as well.
The next thing you need to know about technical SEO is the use of canonical tags. Canonical tags are used when you have multiple pages that are identical or similar in nature.
For example, if you have a product that has many different color variations, each product color uses a unique page URL, but all the descriptions and content about the product are the same. And assuming that this is the main product, you will add canonical tags on all these pages, telling search engines to index only this page.
The thing is, search engines dislike duplicate content because it confuses them as to which to index, and with such confusion, they may not even index any pages. So to avoid that, adding canonical tags will clear up the confusion.
So assuming that this is the main content you want search engines to rank, and this is duplicate content, what you want to do is to copy the URL of the main content, then go to the back end of the duplicate content, over at Rank Maths tab, go to the advanced settings, and right here there is a canonical tag field. By default for Rank Math, all pages are self-canonicalized, which means they are pointing to their own page as the original. So if there is another page or URL that is the original or main content, you would paste the original URL here and save the page. It is that simple.
Alright, these are the things you should know to master technical SEO. The final item you need to know is off-page SEO. Off-page SEO is everything you do outside of your website to help it rank higher on the search engines like Google. It's all about building your site's reputation on the internet. Think about your website as a new restaurant in town. On-page SEO is like making your restaurant look amazing inside with clean tables, nice decor, and tasty food. Off-page SEO is like the talk around town about your restaurant. When people give positive reviews or recommendations, more people will want to visit.
Online, this happens when other websites link to your site or when you get positive reviews on Google. If a popular blog writes about your restaurant or it links to your site, that boosts your credibility. On the web, these are called backlinks, links from other sites pointing to yours.
Social media buzz also helps. When you create content on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and others, you naturally build authority and trust when your content is well received. The main idea is that search engines trust sites that are trusted and talked about by other sites. Off-page SEO is how you build that trust and get noticed. There are a lot of off-page SEO strategies, but newer sites, you shouldn't be focusing on acquiring backlinks, but focus on content creation and on-page SEO. When your site is more established, you can master off-page SEO through this video. I hope this will give you a good idea on what you need to do. I hope you have gained enough knowledge to master SEO in this short period of time. If you have any other questions, feel free to let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to smash that thumbs up. Our channel is all about helping you grow your brand traffic, and if you haven't subscribed to us yet, consider doing so. This is Jack from Rank Math. I'll see you in the next video.